Top Reverse Harem Anime. La Storia della Arcana Famiglia is a reverse harem anime based on a visual novel. The series revolves around Felicita, who is the only daughter of Mondo, the boss of a mafia family called Arcana Famiglia. Members of the family have special abilities due to contracts they've made with Arcana cards. When Mondo suddenly decides to retire, he announces a tournament to choose Arcana Famiglia's new leader. Unfortunately for Felicita, the tournament winner also gets her hand in marriage. Felicita is less than thrilled at the thought of being forced into marriage. Looking to win her freedom, Felicita decides to fight in the tournament as well. Felicita has a contract with the lovers of the Arcana, so she may just have a chance at winning the tournament and becoming the next head of the Arcana Famiglia.
ヒロインセリヌマカイは男の子同士が仲良くするのを見たり妄想するのが大好きなぽっちゃり女子高生。ある日大好きなアニメキャラが死んだショックで体重が激減。すると4人の美男子からデートの誘いを受けちゃった。
One of the most popular reverse harem anime, Kiss Him, Not Me, leans heavily into comedy, and the show can be pretty hilarious at times. Obsessed with BL stories, Kei retreats into her shell when one of her favorite manga characters dies. When she emerges, she looks quite different, a change that attracts the attention of a few guys at school. However, Kei would much prefer to focus on boys' love than be the center of a harem's attention. Kiss Him, Not Me. S manga is not only beloved but also generally great, and the anime only scratches the surface of its source material's content. That said, Brain's Base still put together a charming and entertaining series that highlights the manga's positive qualities, even if it is not a complete experience. Yuta no Prince Sama began as a romantic comedy visual novel and was later adapted into an anime series and 2 films. The series takes place at Saotome Academy, a well-known school for students passionate about the performing arts. This school is full of would-be idols, composers, and producers. Haruka Nanami is a composer hoping to create a song worthy of her idol, Hayato. To improve her skills, she works with a group of classmates who long to be idols. These boys form the idol group Starish with Nanami as their producer. They'll have to work hard if they want to achieve their dreams, but they can't risk falling in love in the process. After all, romance is strictly prohibited at Saotome Academy.
君は何者か分かっているのか。必ず俺が見つけ出す。生き抜け！
For those who prefer their reverse harem main girls to be more awesome or special, Fena, Pirate Princess offers more of that in spades. It's about the titular princess, Fena, who is doomed to an arranged marriage, but lucky for her, her hot male childhood friend and a couple of other warriors rescue her from such a predicament. What follows afterward is a swashbuckling tale as Fena and her boy band male bodyguard group jump from one adventure to another in search of a place called Eden, her father's legacy. It's similar to tales like Fushigi Yugi, one of the more popular reverse harem staples.
唯一残されたエデンへの手がかりはフェナの記憶だけだ。
嫌よ！こんなの嫌！乙女芸の悪役令嬢？このままだと破滅する！
My Next Life as a Villainous All Routes Lead to Doom is a unique take on the reverse harem genre. After Katarina Clays, a young noblewoman, hits her head, she realizes she's been reincarnated as the villainess in an Otome game called Fortune Lover. After this realization, Katarina does everything she can to keep from reaching a bad end in the game. Katarina's efforts wind up winning the hearts of her peers, both male and female. Unfortunately, Katarina is oblivious to the fact that the game's heroine and the heroine's would-be love interests are all wrapped around her finger. While Katarina's suitors are trying to capture her attention, she's focused on trying to avoid all the bad ends her video game counterpart met in another life.
私が破滅するかどうかは彼女と4人の攻略対象の恋の行方にかかっている。
乙女ゲームの破滅フラグしかない悪役令嬢に転生してしまう。
1年の時からずっと好きだったの。
俺 俺さ、ブスは嫌いなんだよ。
The Wallflower is a comedic tale of an attempt to turn a girl who shuns beauty into a proper lady. Tsunako was once a normal girl until she confessed her love for the first time and was told she was ugly in return. After that, she decided the beautiful life wasn't for her and chose a more homely look to suit her seeming ugliness. However, her aunt isn't ready to give up on her niece. She hires 4 handsome high school students to transform her daughter into the proper lady she ought to be, using the mansion they live in for free as leverage. The 4 boys manage to give Tsunako a makeover but discover it's much more difficult to change her heart. Eventually, Tsunako learns more about self-acceptance and the true meaning of beauty.
色恋沙汰とは無縁な私がなぜイケメンを床ドン
Romantic Killer is in a weird spot since it is an unapologetic parody of reverse harem, and its shonen-style humor might not hit the mark with everyone. However, the show should still appeal to fans looking for a piece that can scratch their genre itch. And Zu has no interest in boys, preferring to spend her time on games and junk food. Unfortunately, a magical being suddenly appears and flips her life around, casting her as the unwilling lead in a harem universe. Despite initially seeming to mock everything that harems and romance stories stand for, Romantic Killer gradually develops into a surprisingly effective example of both genres. And Zu is a contender for the best female lead in the reverse harem world, and she is accompanied by male characters who have surprising depth. The premise seems uncomfortable at first since the guys appear to be mind-controlled, but this element is eventually subverted.
ロマンティックキラーに私はなるよし行くわ
そして修練そなたには高級に入って王の妃になってもらいたい
The main girl in the story of Sayunkaku is the daughter of a noble family who dreams of becoming a government official. However, the show is set during a time when women weren't even allowed to pick their husbands. Shuriai Ko, the main girl in question, found an opportunity when the new and lazy emperor asked her into a 6-month fake marriage, so she could handle his government responsibilities in his stead. Together with the emperor's all-male retinue, they transform the monarch into a responsible man, and whatever romance blossoms along the way is counted as bonus pay. The story of Sayunkaku is notable for its proactive protagonist and historical setting, 2 elements that not only set it apart from many reverse harem anime but also elevate it above many of its contemporaries. Tired of the usual hapless schoolgirl getting in debt or servitude to several gorgeous guys? Then Hakuki is a breath of fresh air as it picks the Edo era of Japan, the 1600s to 1800s as the setting. In it, Chizuru Yukimura is looking for her missing father when she gets entangled with the Shinsengumi, Japan's special police force. Turns out they are also looking for her father. Hence, she now has to work with them, which isn't too bad considering how some of the members were single and ready to mingle. It also helps that they all represent several shades of masculinity with little to no physical imperfections. Who knew looking for one's father could be a fun dating opportunity? Hakuki puts romance on the back burner for most of its run, allowing the main relationships to develop naturally rather than forcing their growth through melodrama. As a historical series with hints of fantasy, the anime is effective and engaging.
Welcome, poor man, to our world of beauty! Starting today, you are an official member of the Host Club.
A host?
Our High School Host Club is quite the ride. It starts when the protagonist Haruai Fujioka gets admitted to an elite school. Too bad she gets her first taste of the school's snobs, the host club, in the wrong way, by breaking a vase worth several millions of yen. Thus, she became a gender-bent literal errand boy where she essentially became a slave for the all-male host club to pay for the vase she broke. This anime is one of the hard-to-replace classics of both the reverse harem and comedy genres, and it is still beloved today. Our High School Host Club dedicates multiple episodes to all the main characters, allowing the guys to develop identities that go beyond their relationship with the female lead. Haruai is also no slouch either, as her backstory and motives are well established and investigated throughout the series. Along with being the genre's most popular representative, Ouran High School Host Club is also the best reverse harem anime.